Hollow and hello. Thank you so much for joining me today for this epic video. I mean, I don't know. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm just trying to be positive. I assume it's going to be epic. I mean, it does have 1.4 million views. It's by Insider Business, one of the most epic YouTube channels. I don't know. Anyway, it's about the Volkswagen Beetle. Certainly one of the most iconic cars of all time. It's got to be Volkswagen's most iconic car. I haven't seen one in a long time. They used to be everywhere. Certainly a very interesting history with Volkswagen. I don't know how it went from, because Volkswagen was started in Nazi Germany, right? Like as it was like government subsidized or something to make a car for the people. Am I right? Like a cheap car. And then the hippies over here in America at least adopted the Beetle. They loved the Beetle. It's just funny how things turn out. It's kind of beautiful in that way, you know? A car made in Nazi Germany, embraced by the hippies in America. What, 20, 30 years later? Very fascinating. Hopefully they dive into that here in the rise and fall of the Volkswagen Beetle. Let's go.
From its dark origins in Nazi Germany to the summer of love and the big screen, the Volkswagen Beetle is one of the most recognizable cars ever made.
Indeed.
In its 81-year run, the quirky car sold over 23 million units.
Oh, it's out of production now? They stopped it in 2019. Damn. 23 million units. Wow. That's a lot. I mean, I would have guessed more. But then again, part of the reason the Beetle was so iconic is that it's so recognizable. It's not necessarily like everybody was driving a Beetle. It's just you saw them pretty often, and when you did, you instantly recognized it.
And left tread marks on 91 countries worldwide. But in 2019, Volkswagen officially produced its last Beetle.
No.
So how did this tiny German car
back.
take over the world? And has it really met its end?
Is it coming back?
The Volkswagen dates all the way
Make an electric Beetle.
back to the 1930s, commissioned by none other than Adolf Hitler.
There you go.
The Nazi dictator wanted a car that the general public could afford. So Hitler tapped engineer and Nazi party member
I promise I didn't already watch this video. It's like she's saying all the stuff I already said.
Ferdinand Porsche. Yes, that Porsche. He designed
Oh, wait, what?
Nazi party member Ferdinand Porsche. Yes,
Really?
that Porsche.
I just call it Porsche, first of all. I know that's wrong, but so do all Americans. Porsche, he designed the Beetle.
He designed
Small
the
world.
Volkswagen, or the people's car.
Out of all the ideas
That is the dumbest. That's Hitler, right? What a freaking goofball. Look at the tiny Beetle. Is that? I don't. Maybe. Is that? I can't tell. He's making the dumbest face.
the Nazis had, it's the one non-terrible idea, because a cheap car for everybody
The Autobahn was a pretty freaking good idea too, let's be honest.
is sort of thing that the Model T was in America and the Mini was in the UK.
The Volkswagen Type 1 was a two-door car with an air-cooled engine in the back. Production
Back when I was even more ignorant than I was today, I would have guessed the Beetle, and I mean like a few years ago, before I started learning about Germany and stuff, I would have guessed the Beetle was a British car.
began in Wolfsburg, Germany in 1938. Though when World War II started, manufacturing for the general public stopped. The only Volkswagens made at the time were for military officials. Hitler himself drove a convertible version.
So he drove a car that was for the people. So is he doing that on purpose to try and be like, oh, look, I'm one of you?
The war, the British took over the factory. And within the first year, they'd produced 10,000 Beetles. Because it filled the demand for cheap and practical cars across war-torn Europe.
Plus it was good on gas, which was still expensive and in short supply in a lot of places. Part of the reason it's got such a curved design is to minimize the amount of sheet metal that it uses. So it was a resource-efficient design, relatively. It took a lot of
German
human
efficiency.
power to build them, but that was actually a good thing at the time because they wanted to give people jobs.
I see. So was it subsidized or just... It sounds like it.
In 1949, Volkswagen took the Beetle to the United States, and it was a massive success.
Isn't that weird? I don't know. That's just weird to me. That immediately after the war, it's just a massive success here in America. Like I said, it's kind of beautiful. Like, it's like people, you know, I don't know.
Like the big flashy cars popular of that era, with their chrome and fins, the Beetle's modest size and teardrop shape stood out.
If you look at it head on, the biggest thing you'll notice compared to an average car of, like, say, the 50s or 60s is there's no big grille. It's not intimidating in any way. It's got big round headlights, like big friendly eyes. It wasn't aggressive. It wasn't trying to hurt you. It was your pal who was your car.
Not only was it cute, it was durable.
At Volkswagen, we don't worry about how our car looks.
It's the funniest machine I've ever seen. Look at this thing slamming the door. That's the wife testing arm right there. Slamming your door.
We worry about how it works.
They built the hell out of these. So many other car makers coming into America had problems with their cars just not being built to take the massive scale of America. The Beetle's engine was designed to be low revving. You could drive it flat out all day and it's not going to kill it.
No one better catapulted the Beetle to success in the States than advertiser Bill Bernbach. His revolutionary 1959 ad campaign highlighted the Beetle's oddball features as its strengths.
Those ads were very good at giving the...
That's interesting because here in America, the word lemon, that would mean it's defective. Like when you get a lemon product, it means it's... I don't know if that's what the ad is. I don't know. I can't read the whole thing. I'm just saying it's kind of a weird way to advertise it to me because that would mean when you get a lemon, it's like, oh, I got the one that's broken.
Features as its strengths.
Those ads were very good at giving the car a kind of voice, right? It's as if the car is honest, the car is humble, and it's talking to you, the consumer, about these new values of conservation.
That's a cool ad.
Thinking small and taking into account broader kind of social issues even in your decision of what to purchase as a car.
The campaign was a success. Volkswagen sales jumped 52% in the United States, as other European imports dropped 27%.
Get wrecked.
And the misfit car was cemented as a symbol of the counterculture.
If you drove a Beetle, on some level you were saying, I'm not taken in by all the excesses of capitalism or whatever. So it made sense that the hippies would gravitate to it.
The Beetle was perfect for hippies. It was the exact opposite of the cars their parents liked. Plus, it was easy to maintain, and it could last on those long California road trips.
America was changing from what did the government tell me, what is...
It must have been nice back when cars were easy to maintain. I don't think that's like a thing anymore.
The truth, what do I believe in as a person, and the Beetle just...
Well, actually, with electric cars, I think they're relatively easy to maintain, right?
threw a dart right into that place and magic.
Not to mention it was cheap. A new Volkswagen Beetle in 1967 came in at $1,600.
Obviously, I know that, maybe that's how much you made in a year back then, but it's still crazy how much a dollar used to be worth.
$100. About $12,000 in today's money.
That is so cheap. That blows my mind. It's $12,000. So even with inflation, it was $12,000. It would be like today buying it off the lot for $12,000. That's impossible to buy a new car for $12,000. So what's going on? I'm confused. Why are cars so much more expensive today? Is it just because there's a lot more going on in the car? A lot of people would want to buy a car that's just, simple for $12,000 and reliable. Bring back the original Beetle, and you don't even have to. You just manufacture it the exact same way. Just open the factories back up, dust off all the equipment, open it back up, sell it for $12,000. I think those would sell like hotcakes.
Ford Mustang would have cost you about $2,700, or about $20,600 today.
It was an
Even that's cheap.
honest, straightforward proposal. It had a great price. It didn't
I'm sorry to keep harping on this, but how did we get more productive, more efficient? Computers are invented. The whole supply chain of the world is much more efficient. So why were they able to make a profit on a $20,000, effective today, $20,000 Mustang, but now you can't buy a Mustang for $20,000 new? Anyway, continue.
Never promise anything. It promised exactly what it was capable of doing. And that's why it caught on.
And then Hollywood stepped in, introducing Herbie the Love Bug in 1968.
A mind of his own makes Herbie the soul bug of the love generation.
The anthropomorphic Beetle with a big personality would go on to star in 5 movie spin-offs. That same year, VW Beetle sales in the US hit an all-time peak
Wow.
of 423,000
Oh my God, look at that drop off. What the heck? Wait, what the heck?
cars sold. By 1972, the 15 millionth Beetle rolled off the manufacturing line, breaking the Ford Model
Oh, they had a spare tire up in the front?
to the 15 millionth
That's nifty. Wait, how's that? Wait, what? Where's the engine? Maybe they didn't have that.
Beetle rolled off the manufacturing line, breaking the Ford Model T's 40-year standing record for the
Wow.
best-selling car in the world.
Well, the Bug didn't have bicycle wheels. Maybe that's why. I'm just kidding. I know that that's just an old record. Got it.
But soon, the road turned bumpy for the Beetle in America. In the 1980s, the car couldn't keep up with
The roads are still bumpy in America.
competition from newly introduced Japanese vehicles. But as sales slipped in the US, the VW Beetle found success abroad.
So in America, it was pretty much dead, for new cars by like the 80s. But then in Mexico and Brazil and South Africa and other countries, it was still going strong. Every time you thought the Beetle was dead somewhere, it would pop up somewhere else and just kind of keep on going.
It was like a
But
trend.
VW wasn't ready to give up on America just yet. In 1998, VW did what they'd never done before. They introduced a completely new Beetle model. It was called the New
See, that's the one. I've seen so many of these. Amazing.
Beetle. But technically, it more closely resembled the VW Golf.
It was sort of a return to fun in consumer design when things had been kind of beige and rectilinear and straightforward for so long. It definitely made people give a damn about Volkswagen again.
With fuzzy steering wheels and candy colors, the car was a nostalgic throwback. And it worked. Kind of.
When you bring it back now 30, 40-ish years later, obviously a lot of competition. We were getting 100,000 units versus getting, 400, 450,000 units back in the 60s.
Wow.
So clearly the market had changed.
Unreal.
But it was the right call because honestly it put a shot in the arm for the entire brand.
And then in 2015,
Yeah, I've seen so many of those in my lifetime.
Dieselgate happened. The scandal revealed Volkswagen had cheated on emission tests on their diesel models,
I need to look into that.
including the Beetle.
That's a big no-no, especially in Germany, I bet. Cheating on emissions.
The company paid over $30 billion to settle the case in 2018.
Did it have an impact? Absolutely. And the
Damn.
reason it impact is we broke the trust. And if you look at what the singular thing the Beetle was so fantastic at, trust, it took millions and millions of families to school across America, to Woodstock, on. And the fact that this fiasco broke that trust is absolutely the most unsettling thing.
And the Beetle's final lap was not far behind. By 2018, the Beetle made up just
I don't know anything about that scandal.
4% of VW sales. Even with a worldwide fandom and iconic status, the Beetle just wasn't selling new units anymore. In 2018, Volkswagen announced it was ending production of its storied car.
Why the decision is made to, say bye-bye Beetle and to end the Beetle is frankly the market has changed dramatically. Small cars struggle. It's an SUV marketplace.
The final 2019 Beetle rolled off the line in Puebla, Mexico in July 2019. After 8 decades,
Electric Beetle, yes.
worldwide success and arguably legendary status,
But don't Europeans still love small cars? I mean, over here in America, I always thought the trend was eventually going to go more towards small cars. It's been the opposite. It's just people are buying more and more SUVs and trucks than ever.
has the Volkswagen Beetle really hit the end of the road?
I don't really buy it. I kind of believe we're going to see another version of the Beetle down the road, and it's probably going to be an MEB electric Beetle at some point. Because they'd be crazy not to. Why wouldn't they do it?
Is this really the end?
With the Beetle, never say never. It's not in our product portfolio. It's not in our plans. We're certainly going to keep its, soul
Not in the plans.
alive, as I referenced. But the MEB is a phenomenal platform. We've shown a buggy off of that. We've shown a bus off of that. We've shown an SUV off of that. Never say never.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Pretty hard to consider a vehicle that lasts for 80 years to fall. When you think of it, this car had a lifespan longer than most people. True. How I wish they reproduced the original look with modern engines. Yeah. Older cars do have a special kind of feel to them, don't they? I'm surprised more car companies don't try to capture that audience. That would be cool. An electric, like the old exterior with an electric motor. Put me on the board, Beetle, or Volkswagen. Put me on the board of directors. Phew. Thank you for watching. Have a fantastic day. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay, subscribe if you want to. Goodbye.